Hi. Hey. How are you? What a day. All right. I'm here. I'm around. I'm alive. I'm functioning. Um, I just I made myself a sandwich. I'm not going to get a chance to eat. I'm just not going to. I've just settled into that. Hi, Nat. I have questions for you. Reach out. Anyways, um, hello. How are you? Guess what today is? Oh, Raphael, how are you? Yes, the My Pillow. Yeah, the My Pillow fellow. We'll get into him. Oh boy, that's fun. In case you don't know what we're talking about, Mike Pillow made a trip to the White House today. His real name is Michael Lindell. We call him Mike Pillow around here because we don't have time for these kind of shenanigans. And apparently, he was enjoying his left leaning cup of coffee. And these are all of his. My mom is literally FaceTiming me right now. Literally as I start. Hold on. Let me. Hi, I'm on the air. How can I help you?
Oh, somebody sent me a mystery box.
Oh, isn't that nice? That's lovely. Merry Christmas. Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, let me call you back after my show.
Okay, yeah, because this is confusing.
I'll help you figure it out. It's just part of the thing. It's just like your novels and stuff. It's just I thought you'd think it was fun with your friends and
Well, it
yeah.
says don't open until it tells you, but it doesn't tell you.
Yes, it does. All right. I love you. I'll talk to you in a little bit. I'm in
Okay,
the middle
love
of the
you
show.
too.
Everybody says hi, by the way. My mom says hi, everyone. Hold on. You want to say hi to everybody? There they are. Hello.
Hello, where are where is everybody?
They're all spread out all over the interwebs. All right. I love you. I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. My For Christmas, my mom's an avid reader, and God bless her for passing that on to me. And she's one of the reasons why I finish over a dozen books a year, just as a normal uh, state of affairs. And I got her for Christmas last year one of those book of the month clubs with mysteries because she likes mysteries and thrillers. So I there's this one service that got like 3 mystery books a month, and she would just burn through them. So they were great. She really liked it. And then I found another one that has mystery books and like a mystery to solve puzzle thing that goes with it. So it would at least eat up a little more time and have a little more fun. So anyway, so that's what that was about. She just got it in the mail and doesn't know how it works. But I'll walk her through it. It'll be fine. But it's really, anyways, she just got her first one, basically. The January box just arrived. She's like, what is this? So, okay. So Mike Lindell, this is a little, hard to see. I don't know if can we blow this nonsense up? Yeah, there we go. I think that's as big as it gets to get. Getting evidence of all the blah blah blah, the election and all information regarding and people he knows who already have security and massive research of these issues. Something Fort Meade. He is an attorney with cyber blah 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 expertise and is up to speed on election issues. Act now as a result of the assault on the martial law, if necessary, upon the first hint of any. Look at this shit. Mike Lindell is calling for the president to start martial law at the hint of violence from who? Anybody but a MAGA supporter? I mean, if he's not going to institute martial law based on what his own followers did, what's the justification? Yeah. So, anyways, this is the list of people: Sidney Powell, Bill Olson, Kurt Olson. It's a family business. Move Kash Patel to CIA acting. Foreign interference in the election triggers unlimited powers. Make clear this is a China, Iran, domestic actors. Instruct Frank that, this is actions to be taken immediately to save the country and the Constitution. He's a frigging nutcase. That's him leaving. Those are his notes right there. Now, the interesting thing is something's redacted there. I think it's this part right here was redacted. That's the part where he makes the suggestion that they should all wear fur horned hats and yell, "I am Q shaman," when they gather for their weekly Eyes Wide Shut party. But that's he brought his notes in and then got sent to stand outside. Whap 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 whap. So why were you sent outside, Mike Lindell? Why? Lindell, right? Lindell? It's Lynn, right? Hold on. Yeah, it's Lindell. Lindell. This is him. Okay, why does this matter? Why does it matter that he was here today on Trump's last Friday in office? And hello, everyone. Thanks for the bits and the cheers. We're at a level 2 hype train already on Twitch. Don't forget to subscribe on Twitch. Remember, you have to resubscribe every month because it's not like an automated, updated thing, which is kind of good because it means I got to stay on my toes and keep you entertained. I think that's actually a good thing. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe on Twitch for free. It doesn't cost you anything. So that helps me and doesn't cost you a dime. I mean, that's a win and free one. That's like winning a raffle without ever buying a ticket. I just think it's wonderful. Anyways, thank you. There you go. Thanks for subscribing. What else? Thank you. Yes. Yeah, there you go. Wondadal. I'll figure out how to pronounce the name, whatever. Has subscribed via Prime for 5 months. Didn't cost a penny. That's pretty cool. Yes, you're not wrong, DC2257, in this particular situation. Look at this. Oh, Ninka Crinkles, thank you. Hooray! We've got that hype train coming. So this is kind of a big deal. I will show you. I'm going to finish the show out as to why Mike Lindell felt the need or summoned himself or insisted upon being summoned to the White House on Friday the 15th. Why that's important to them. I'll finish out the show with that because the dip that keeps on dipping, Rudy Giuliani, has this is his new one. This has never occurred in U.S. history. #censorship. Now, I think I figured a couple of things out. Let's talk about common sense for a minute. That's Rudy's show. We're gonna look into it today. We're gonna deal with it. This is still the president's lawyer. He thinks he's gonna be representing him as long as he's not disbarred before the impeachment trial, which is an absolute possibility. Imagine you've chosen your lawyer. You're just hoping they don't get disbarred before your trial. Anyways, so we have been back and forth about what's happening to Rudy's head over time, and I've figured it out. I've figured what this is, because I thought it was makeup for a long time being spread back in here. I am now convinced it's mustard. I'm now, like, he eats a mustard sandwich and then just does this when he finishes eating. Wipes his mouth with his napkin and then does like this. And then he's just always got mustard. There is no other explanation for that color. I don't know what that is. Thank you, Joyce. Thanks for supporting the Family Book Fund. That's fantastic. I will, using that $20, I will purchase a book, thank you, that I've been wanting to get. I'm not kidding. That's fantastic. And I'll do a book report. How about that? And Line of Judea, we're still going to do a show about the thing. I'm trying about how I run this. I'm trying to get Stuttering John to join me when I do it online, so I can show him at the same time. It'd be like it's like having a tutor, live working, so that because if I do it, I'll just show you what I think and then I'll zip right through it. But I think I can actually help set up some stuff for Stuttering John and a couple other people and run them through it, and he can be kind of the world's dimmest student for it, so that he can, you know what I mean? So it's coming. It's just I'm trying to schedule that. So, I'm just saying. Okay, here we go. And by the way, I found this in a box of my stuff. This goes to the moving boxes still being unloaded. Yeah, so there you go. I'm very proud of my Columbo shirt. I can't believe I found it. I was like, Look what's under here. I mean, it's just lovely. Canada, I love you back. Hi to Canada. Hi everybody in the UK and Scotland and Ireland and Australia and Sweden and Norway. You crowd are lovely. I'm gonna have to start naming this whole show Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. That's what's gonna happen. Oh my God, Natalie, bless you. Golly gee, Natalie, that's amazing. Thank you so much. That's crazy. Thank you, beloved. That's really sweet. Holy smokes. And so sad that it had to happen with this on the screen. You know, blows Ferratu. I don't know. We're going to have to come up with a nickname for him. But this is, the name of this episode from Rudy is, This Has Never Occurred in U.S. History. Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say YouTube wasn't big before the internet. And the internet was around for a good 15, almost 20 years in its, in its infancy, before anything even remotely like YouTube was a thought in people's heads, where the level of internet available to humans in the country would justify anything like that. You know what I mean? So, Nat, thank you. The outpouring of love for Natalie is just overwhelming in the chat room right now. It's really very sweet. It's cool. Yes. Well, the NRA declaring, we've got a couple of internet fun things today. One was, of course, Mike Lindell, going there. And then, of course, the other one is the fact that the NRA filed for bankruptcy today on Trump's last day in office. Whoo, buddy. Just good. Okay, but let's hear what Rudy thinks has never occurred before in U.S. history. Take it away, Rudy Giuliani. You look exciting and vivacious. You got some color in your cheeks. I don't know what color it is. It's sort of like bullfrog underbelly color, but it's still a color technically.
Rudy's comment.
Oh God, hold on, my big speakers are on. Okay, here you go.
Sense, an abbreviated version of it.
Oh, thank God it's an abbreviated version. This one's only 15 minutes of bullshit.
Because of a highly critical situation that faces our nation.
A very highly critical situation. This faces our nation. He's facing the nation right now. Get ready. Are you, nation? Are you ready to face what's happening?
And that is, we are living through the most extensive, most horrific censorship that has ever occurred in this country.
That's true. I mean, this is the worst, most horrific censorship that has ever occurred in this country. And it's happening to this man live on YouTube. It's getting to where you can't cry fire in a crowded theater.
Never at any time in this country.
That's true. He's not lying. More people have been broomed from Twitter in the last 48 hours than in the entire history of the country before 2007. Thank you, T. Never. Like, do you think this many people got kicked off of Twitter during the Roosevelt administration? I don't think so.
Has there been censorship of this dimension that has gone?
Yes. Which dimension? X, Y, or Z axis? I just need to know.
Gone on for as long as this has gone on. And now,
yeah, this is the longest lasting social media censorship and the deepest expression of it in our country's history. Not since not since Grant's Bumble account was kicked.
And now it has culminated in not allowing the president to communicate with approximately 85 million people.
Oh, I see. I see. The president. Don't fall asleep on us, Rudy. So the president, if I'm hearing you correctly, and God knows no one can, the president is not able to communicate with the only part of the country he gives a shit about. Is that the theory? Is that our general concept here? Really? Censorship is the new fake news? It absolutely is. Hold on. Delete. There we go. God.
Who follow him and who want
he doesn't have 85 million followers. Granted, I've never looked at his Pinterest account, so I wouldn't know.
to hear him or see him.
Yeah, it's almost like he can't even, I don't know, post whatever the fuck he wants on his website. If they want to hear from him, if they want desperately, you know what they do? They go to donaldjtrump.com and refresh the goddamn page all day. Seriously. Honest to God. He can't be on Twitter, therefore he is being censored. Are you stupid?
And want to hear, analyze his message.
Analyze his message. Analyze his message. Why does that sound? Let's see. Why can't I? Do I think that? What do you mean analyze, Rudy? When you say analyze, what could you possibly? They see my goodness. Desperate QAnon believers think Trump spoke to them in Morse code. You guys remember when I was joking about that with his hands together the other night? And then a bunch of his things where they always are counting the stars and all that shit? Yeah. They do that for real. On Wednesday night, under severe pressure from all sides, President Donald Trump published a video condemning last week's violence at the Capitol, which was committed by a mob of his own people. 4 minutes and 20 seconds in, Trump moved his hands briefly. The moment went completely unnoticed, except by QAnon followers who believe it was Trump's attempt to signal them using Morse code. They believe that he made a dash, dash, dot, dash movement with his hands, which is the letter Q in Morse code. Thanks for subscribing. Oh my God. I'm not kidding. But please, tell me again, Rudy, about this. We must analyze. We must analyze. We must recognize, I mean.
Beyond that, many of us,
Many.
including yours truly, have had
Bowel movements before they ever got their belt off.
podcasts and other texts and other communications.
Wait, they're striking texts now? This big tech censorship has gone too far. I swear I texted you. Did you not get? I sent you Apple Pay. That didn't show up? Oh, Jack Dorsey. Texts.
Eliminated, edited.
Text eliminated, edited. Oh, that's interesting. I'm sorry, what happened to you, Rudy?
Podcasts and other texts and other communications eliminated, edited, censored, and removed.
Nobody's editing their shit. Nowhere are people editing their stuff. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, adding editorial on it, like, Joe Biden won the election in the world that we all live in flesh and blood, and, Rudy's, obviously, his empty cranium is full of Trump's farts. That's an editorial comment. That's not editing of your thing. It's still your stupid comment.
Moved if they violate the rules set down by the big tech
what?
oligarchs.
I mean, the big tech oligarch. You mean the terms of service, you dick? The big tech oligarchs. The oligarchy that is, you guys remember when Zuckerberg sprayed Alexei Navalny in the face and his head was green for a year, and then he had to go to Germany to get, because that's the oligarchy we have to worry about. Trump, I mean, obviously Trump, and Don Jr. and Eric and Rudy and all their friends can screw around in Ukraine with Russian sock puppets and spray disinfo all over the internet, from the Russian oligarchy. But we all have to worry about the fact that the president and Rudy now have to pay attention to, they're not going to get a pass on the terms of service anymore.
Dorsey, people like that who somehow
Dorsey? All right, I'll give him a New York mulligan.
Have taken on the role that's really more familiar to apparatchiks in Nazi Germany.
Yeah. Zuckerberg especially. I mean, if anybody really singles out what the Germans in the Nazi Party were all about, it's a bunch of Jews. Rudy, right? Is that what we're saying? Jesus.
The Soviet Union, the Chinese communists, Venezuela.
Yeah, they're basically all the same.
Cuba. They have people like that. We've never had people. We've never had people like that. We've had people that respect the.
We've never had like Rudy. What Rudy is arguing for, like his client, the president, was day before yesterday. What all of the people who represent the president and his other attorney were arguing yesterday. What he's arguing for right now is people to be able to publish child porn in the classified section of any newspaper for free. That's what Rudy would like. Because if publishers and platforms are not allowed to have standards, that's what happens. And no one can do anything about it. Because the free speech of the publishers and the people who put that paper together, or the people who run the social media network, their free speech. By the way, tell me about Hobby Lobby while we're at it. But the free speech of the people who run Twitter and Facebook and all those kind of things must be violated so that Rudy Giuliani can see naked 15-year-olds. Because we cannot have publishing standards or public decency standards or public safety standards in any of these formats and social networks, especially because Trump rich is effectively the argument.
Respect the First Amendment, respect free speech. We'll be right back.
Really? Man.
My friends, if you want to help.
Wow. He's got a 14-minute episode and he's got to get all the ads in one thing. You can't crank out a 15-minute episode, you asshole, and then, Jesus.
/Rudy. Thank you for returning.
By the way, I do not recommend slashing Rudy. We are not for political violence here.
Aside from the president's right to communicate with his people.
The president's right to communicate with his people. Yes, tell us, Rudy. His right to communicate with his people. What kind of Jim Jones, King George bullshit is that? Please, Rudy. But yeah, go on.
What about the people's right to know?
What about the
85?
What about the people's right to go to Trump's website and read whatever the fuck he wants to put there?
1 million people follow the president. 85 million people basically are registering a vote that they'd like to know what he says, for better or
well, then they can click on a link and go to his website anytime they want to.
worse, whether they agree with it or not, whether it's helpful or harmful.
No. The harmful part is really, I think, where you've hit a snag here, stupid. Harmful. Whether it's helpful or not, that's murky enough linguistically where a lawyer could get around it. But if it's harmful, no web hosting service much less any social network, is responsible for carrying a harmful message. What? Yes, he said 85 million. He means 85 million people who are, following Trump, bots aside, all 40 million genuine human beings who follow Trump on Twitter and Facebook and Pinterest and Snapchat all combined. All those people desperately want to hear what he has to say, and they have a right to hear it. Yeah, but the government doesn't have a right to force a private company with terms of service to post shit that is harmful. Harmful. Yes, it's a Peter Falk shirt. It absolutely is.
That right to know is an extremely important part of the First Amendment, as well as the right to inform.
No, it isn't. There is nothing. No. Free speech does not mean free eavesdropping. What is that? The right to know? Now, first of all, now you give a shit about freedom of information or freedom of the press? Okay, then why did Trump send Mark Meadows down to court personally to stop them from declassifying unredacted the Mueller report, the grand jury testimony, and the witness testimony in the Mueller investigation? Why did he send Mark Meadows down there in person to stop that, specifically the witness interviews? That was Mark Meadows' marching orders. So tell us more about the right to know.
Well, both have been cut off by
Lorena Bobbitt. They've got that movie running on, something else.
Wealthy, super wealthy.
Wealthy, super wealthy.
Entitled.
Wealthy people. Am I right, Rudy?
I don't know what they are.
I would. They're CEOs of startups that grew into the most popular social networks in the world, partly because of the padding given to them by not having standards, and partly by the building of standards, you might even say evolving of standards over time that made those spaces more functional and better for the user.
They certainly don't understand American values.
No, they don't. Yeah, the American value is that if Rudy Giuliani wants to, sexually assault a 15-year-old girl in a hotel room and film it himself, he should be able to post that because people want to know what he's up to. We're all wondering. We all got to see Borat, but we really want to know in the rest of his life how many times he's actually gone through with that activity. Rudy? Why are you violating my free speech rights by not turning yourself in to the FBI? This is so stupid.
They certainly don't understand that America considers as one of its most important rights the right of free speech.
Yeah, you have free speech. So do the companies to set terms of service. That's actually them enacting their free speech. That's how they do it. That's how YouTube has, I can bitch about being kicked off of YouTube if I violate their terms of service. It could happen to me on Twitter or any of these other sites. If it does, it's my ass because it's their site. It's optional. It's not a utility. It's not water. I can build my own goddamn website and I can host it anywhere in the world and it's accessible. As long as I don't violate the law, I can keep it up. As long as I'm not posting things that are specifically illegal. This is just like the pity. Honestly, kids, please. Can we not pretend? Hold on. Really? Are we doing that already? We're doing, yeah. Thanks a lot. Hold on. Spam. Oh my God. Facebook, you guys are so weird. I have the ability to see into your soul. Please send me your PIN number.
That the right of free speech means...
What does it mean? Oh, wait. I can't wait to hear what Rudy Giuliani's idea of free speech means. Tell us, Rudy. If you don't black out first.
Respecting, protecting, and defending the right of people to disagree with you.
Yeah, it's not a point of disagreement. We're not debating gravity, asshole. But if you say, I'm going to jump off a roof to prove gravity is fake, I'm going to call the loony bin, and everyone else is going to make sure that you don't have a bunch of people who go, yeah, me too.
It means, as part of our tradition, the
what does it mean? Rudy, tell us.
The American Jewish Defense League, fighting for the right of Nazis.
The American Jewish Defense League. You mean the Anti-Defamation League?
To make their vicious and hateful statements so that other rights wouldn't be taken away.
Yeah, but you could say, I don't believe that. But if you say anything like, let's go down and hang all the Jews in the neighborhood, that's not protected speech. Neither is yelling, hang Mike Pence while you're marching. We were just saying words in an order that you don't like.
By other people at other times.
And by the way, fraudulently claiming that you won an election you didn't from the president's office is in and of itself fraud.
That's was one of the great moments in American history and in the understanding of what free speech is. Free speech is allowing for vigorous debate, allowing for robust debate,
but allowing him to take a laptop he bought in Ukraine and bring it back, lie about getting it from a Delaware shop owner who's blind, pretending that their original story wasn't, we'll tell them we found it at Hunter Biden's shrink's house. Oh, we can't anymore. That guy just got arrested for doping and having sex with his patients. Oh, well, let's go plan B, blind Delaware computer store owner. I'm going to give it to the FBI, and if they don't actually find out that it's fake within 3 hours, which they did, I'll just disseminate fake chunks of it all year long, even though it's massive and it's got all these crimes in it. But it's just not the right time. Can you imagine any other crime of the magnitude, especially that he's talking about? Like, I know OJ did it. I know where the weapon is that he did it with. I have a video of him saying he did it. I have a picture of him and Al Callen doing laundry. I have video of them throwing the washing machine and the dryer into the ocean to hide it. That I know for a fact that isn't the white Bronco he was really in, that they were actually in another one headed towards San Francisco so he could get in a plane to fly to China. But I mean, you got to take my word for it. But I will show you some printouts of things that I allege are texts that I'll hold up for about that long, because this is serious. Christ almighty. And I'm not going to, obviously offer any of this evidence in court.
Allowing for angry and hateful speech even.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you've managed to stay on.
Because the idea is, I think this was Oliver Wendell Holmes who said this, it's in the
the one in Bloom County, or
marketplace of ideas, the robust and sometimes even vicious discussions from which we test the truth.
That's right. That's why, I mean, basically, anybody who wants to fly a swastika in the country, go ahead. You just start, just put it out in public. I mean, it's really just the robust display of an idea, really, if you think about it. Just, fly a Confederate flag with a Nazi symbol on it. This is about...
And in which we give people the sense that they're free, and they're free to
the sense that they're free.
Have their own ideas. And they're free also, through that, to open their mind and listen to the opinions of others.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Rudy. I've always been too close-minded that I was like, I'm against the Confederate flag being flown inside the Capitol. Talk me down, Rudy. Explain to me, Rudy, why exactly 6 million weren't enough. I'd love to hear your argument for why somebody can't call themselves 6MWE as their handle on Twitter because hashtag free speech. Please, Rudy, explain to me why. And if any of them try to stop them, if Twitter tried to or Facebook tried, that's a violation of that person's free speech. Even though that same dickhead could literally tattoo that hashtag on their forehead and walk around in public. But if they can't say it on Twitter, can they really say it at all?
That's been violated. It's been destroyed. It began sometime earlier last year.
Oh, you mean under the Trump administration, during Trump's years when Trump was president?
With the whole censorship that surrounded COVID, there was only one thing you could believe about COVID. There was
Oh yeah? What was you mean that it was fake and that made people not wear masks, which endangered lives? Why didn't you get to have a robust discussion?
Only one medicine you could or could not take that may have caused.
Because there were no studies to show that hydroxychloroquine was beneficial and the president was lying about that information. It was false and it could harm people.
Cost, in fact, many, many lives. It became
Wait, it cost lives because you couldn't bullshit about hydroxychloroquine? Is that what we're doing?
Could not take, that may have cost, in fact, many, many lives.
Hydroxychloroquine only had efficacy, even when they were alleging that it had efficacy, with people who remained asymptomatic and never went to the hospital. This cold and flu season, try new No Cold. That's right. Don't have a runny nose or a sore throat or a fever at all, but are sure you have the flu? Try this. Works every time. If you get sick, it happened after. I don't know what it happened. Right.
It became acute when the Biden hard drive emerged.
Yeah, that's what it was. Really, right, as soon as the Biden hard drive emerged. You mean in 2019 when you gave it to the FBI?
And there was a complete censorship of that hard drive.
No, there wasn't. Where is it? You've got it. Release it. Dump the whole goddamn thing. Oh, you can't because people will see the metadata and they'll know it's fake and you'll go to jail.
That's information the American people surely had a right to know. It's information now that as it emerges, 10% of Democrats have said if they knew about it, they wouldn't have voted for Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah? 10%. Really? Where's that? Where are you getting that number from? I'm sure was it Rasmussen?
That hard drive with which I am probably more familiar than most, in fact.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You slept with it, right? That was the whole thing. You slept with it under your bed and it had dirty pictures on it, supposedly, and you kept them and you looked at them many, many times.
I'm probably more familiar than anyone.
Because you won't give it to anybody?
Reveals
that you paid $5 million for a $3 million fraud?
30 years of criminality on the part of the Biden family. And
Does it? Wake up. Rudy, wake up.
Particularly Joe Biden as the boss, the top.
Right, the boss with dementia.
Of the Biden family, in which his office was sold over and over and over again by his relatives for their benefit and for his, described by his son, and his son...
Dude, are we going to go back to the same friggin' one text that isn't even real? Again, if you have an entire hard drive of somebody's, and you keep going back to 4 things, all of which are fake, why is there never anything new out of this shit? He's had this thing for over a year and a half now, if you include the time that he bought it in Ukraine and brought it back. And the FBI's had it for a year, and he gave it to the Delaware Police Department, the state police, in September. They've had the whole thing. I mean, he won't give them the whole thing. They've had a copy of it, but it's not a copy of it. It's only part of the file. He gave them part of the files printed out. Why won't you give them the actual data? Why won't you, again, this whole like, where's the DNC server? As if the victim has to give their stuff over the FBI. Oh yeah, were you really hacked? I don't even trust you. That whole idea. Well, where's this hard drive? Why do the Delaware State Police not have an exact duplicate, a forensic copy of that hard drive, Rudy? Why don't they have it? And if the FBI has one, how come in a year they haven't been able to find anything, even with Trump's appointees running the place? You don't think they would have looked? You don't think the president himself could have requested to look at all of it? This is so ridiculous.
His son's text to his daughter.
30 years, I give you half your money to pop.
Taking care of the expenses of the family for 30 years and still.
Yeah, why would he have to do that if he's the bag man and Joe's really in charge? What bag man bitches about the Godfather? What? You would only bitch about your dad taking half your money if you earned that money by yourself. If he didn't get you the jobs. If he didn't help you out. If it wasn't his connections. God. But please, Rudy, you've only got 7 minutes left.
Still having to kick 50% back to Joe. You probably don't know that because that's been censored.
What are you talking about? Don't know that. You've said it since, what, July? We've heard this over and over. You've said it on MSNBC. You said it on CNN. You said it on Fox. You quoted this stupid thing so many times. Of course, we've heard it. The problem isn't that we haven't heard it. It's been censored. He lives behind an iron curtain of censorship, a sensory censorship. It's because you're full of shit, Rudy.
And censored. That's in the hard drive.
Oh, is it now? Give me a copy. I want to see the whole thing.
I'm not making that up.
Yes, you are.
That's what Hunter Biden said.
Why are you constantly almost blacking out? Wake up, have a cup of coffee, and then please reshoot this video.
And when you listen to that hard drive, when you read it, when you look at it.
Yeah, when you listen to that hard drive, you know what I mean? The LP version.
If you're ever given the right to do it, or go back and look at the New York Post articles about it.
Where you gave them printouts of shit.
What you'll see is the villain of the piece.
What you'll see of is the villain it's not Hunter Biden, even though I called him a degenerate addict and think he should go to jail. No. It's really Joe Biden who's driving this whole thing.
This is not Hunter Biden. The villain of the piece is Joe Biden, the man who orchestrated Hunter.
Yeah, it's a piece. It's a fiction. Your weird little shitty fan fiction for Trump.
The man who used his addicted son as a bagman. What kind of father does that?
I don't know, but what kind of bagman bitches about being the bagman and thinks the money that he's carrying in the bag is his magically?
You're entitled to know that.
We do know that, and we're not impressed. No one is. Give the hard drive to every court you've filed a lawsuit in. Please. And again, why there are not forensic copies of this? All right.
Before you vote. That was kept from you.
No, it wasn't. You talked about it a bunch of times.
By the networks. It was kept from you by the newspapers. And it was kept from you by the big tech oligarchs who now, once again, want to keep from you any debate about the 2020 election.
No. You could debate about it. You just can't lie and say there was massive fraud when you have no evidence of massive fraud, because that is fraud, and they don't have to participate in your fraud scheme.
Someone casts doubt.
Right, Rhonda, that's what I mean. Publish the hard drive. Dump it on the internet. Call WikiLeaks and give it to them. What are you talking about? Seriously. Well, he can't do that, though. You got to understand, guys. We want him to do it. We need him to do it, but he can't do it. You know why? because the digital trail on every picture and file in it leads straight to Ukraine and Rudy Giuliani, and has been mucked around so much that no court in the country, even if it was genuine evidence, would consider it evidence anymore, because this asshole, at best, trampled the crime scene and left DNA everywhere.
Cast doubt on the 2020 election, they're accused of inciting violence.
They did incite violence.
That's absurd. And,
no, it isn't. Again, absurd, outrageous. Yeah.
If I talk to you about the evidence that I've seen with my own eyes, or the video that I can produce of votes being stolen in Georgia, that actually would change the result in Georgia from...
We saw it. That's not what happened. Everybody checked it out. I did the whole goddamn thing. I watched more of it than you did, Rudy. Honest to God. I hope he's having a great time milking Trump for whatever money he thinks he's getting out of this asshole, because good Lord.
Biden to Trump, if I show you that video.
We've seen the video. We've watched it. Anybody who's watching your show has seen it. Now, granted, he's not getting the algorithm kick he was getting before. 3,201 views, and I'm the one. Okay, I just gave it a dislike just for the hell of it, but only because it's too short. Go long, Rudy. Go long.
I'll be banned. In fact, 2 of my podcasts have been taken down, and I believe the reason is that in those podcasts, I assert that certain states actually voted for Trump rather than...
Right, which is a lie and is endangering people's lives.
For Biden, and I'm accused of somehow fomenting violence by saying that.
Yeah, you are. Yours is the reasoning. They believe that it is being stolen, and therefore the only way they're going to take our country back is through a trial by combat.
For each one of those states, I have enormous amount of proof that what I'm saying is true.
No, you don't. You have an enormous amount of lawsuits that have either been dismissed or laughed out of court.
I have affidavits. I have...
Oh, not affidavits.
Some cases, videotapes. I have scientific analysis.
I've got the Borat movie. Your move, mustard head.
I have examinations of the crooked Dominion machines. Now, people are entitled to look at that and evaluate it and decide whether...
We did. We have. You're a liar. It's dumb. Courts have asked you for the full breakdown. You refuse to give it. That's why the cases get dismissed. Your own affidavit witnesses won't even testify. They refuse to allow their affidavits to be given. You're like, I've got so many of these, but I can't. Blah, blah, blah.
Decide whether I'm telling the truth or not. But all of that has been cut off. All of that has been kept from you. Because really...
No, it hasn't. I've covered you covering it.
You're not Americans anymore.
Did you hear that, kids? Listen to this.
All of that has been kept from you. Because really, you're not Americans anymore.
Oh, all right. America's dead. Because Rudy doesn't have the ability to commit fraud on behalf of the President of the United States, the highest elected official in our country, and lie his way into maintaining power, because he doesn't have the ability to do that, and because certain private companies won't help him steal this election for Trump, because he doesn't have that, then we're no longer Americans. Good God. Yes. By the way, Rudy, a lot of my viewers aren't living in the States, but we're all Americans when you aren't.
Which are creatures of big tech.
We're creatures of big tech. Right on. Which is my third favorite Ministry album.
A right to decide what you know and what you don't know. They have a right to decide whether you should find out about the criminality of a man running for president of the United States, and they have a right to keep from you the evidence that possibly, and I believe actually.
No, they don't. You can file any of this in a criminal complaint or a civil complaint.
Votes were stolen in such large numbers in the 2020 election that
that Donald Trump is the worst president ever and can't be trusted to oversee our elections because they are too easily stolen when he is the chief executive of the country. And Republicans themselves are so weak-kneed and pathetic that they and Trump had their ass handed to them by about a half a dozen volunteers.
Not only did we elect a man with a 30-year criminal background, but we elected him illegally. Now would be
But enough about Trump.
a good time to take a short break. If you want.
Ew. Blindsided. I'm not. So gross. This literally an ad for smoke-filled rooms. And by the way, Rudy never looked good, but he looks really shitty right now. I mean, they've got makeup on him for this ad and that kind of thing. But maybe he's like a chameleon and it's the background. Like you put him in an oaky room and he turns kind of a brownish orange, and you put him against this kind of background and he starts to take the color of the drapes and the wallpaper. Just never put him on a television set. I'll go crazy.
For returning. What do we do about this?
I have some ideas. Ask me, Rudy. Ask me. I have some great ideas.
How do we go back to being a country where we have free speech?
We already are. That was easy. Man.
How do we go back to a country where we can express our opinions, put forth our evidence, and be judged in the marketplace of ideas?
We do and we are. You were Rudy. The thing you don't understand is you had this hard drive for over a year. You talked about it on all the major news networks. You refused to put anything up that was considered legitimate evidence. You were printing out things, wagging them, and then putting them down, and flipping through large packets of paper, saying, "Look at how much shit I have," and none of it would you show to anybody who wanted to look at it. So the news organizations in the marketplace of ideas told you to go pound sand. And then you lost over 60 legal cases. The president himself doesn't want to pay your bills. They're kicking you to the curb. And you need a pardon so bad, you're still cranking out these kiss-ass videos.
How do we get back to the ancient Greek ideal that all
of vomitoriums are the best thing that ever happened to Thanksgiving?
All ideas have to be expressed and then evaluated.
All ideas have to be expressed and then evaluated. Okay. Guys, did we not see Rudy express his ideas about the Hunter Biden laptop and his ideas about the election and his ideas about the video in Georgia and his ideas about Donald Trump's efficacy as a president or his ideas about COVID and hydroxychloroquine? Did we not see those ideas tested in the marketplace of ideas? And what happened? They got flushed, and occasionally a plunger was required.
If they're crazy, if they're stupid, if they're...
Thank you, you're right. That was the Romans. Thanks, Jennifer.
Unfounded, they'll be rejected.
Yeah, they were. That's exactly what happened to your ideas. By the way, you have mustard in your hair. Like, all of it.
Rejected quickly. The reason we're being censored, and
the reason you're being censored is because in the marketplace of ideas, yours suck. You're
The reason we're being censored with the vehemence with which we are being censored
is because your bullshit has led to a cop being beat to death.
Is because we're telling the truth.
Oh, well, that's I mean, basically, this is the same stuff that Alex Jones says.
You've already found that out about the hard drive, haven't you?
No. Where is it? Release the whole hard drive.
You know, I couldn't get out most of the hard drive before the election.
Why not?
And now everything I've said about it and everything I said about Ukraine is turning out to be absolutely 100% true.
No, it isn't. Show it. What? You can't do a split screen on this goddamn show?
What's going to happen when everything I've said about the election turns out to be absolutely true?
I don't know. What happens when manure becomes edible? Tell us, Rudy.
That's the reason they're censoring it. They're not censoring.
No, they're not. They're censoring it because people have died, and your crowd keeps wanting more people dead.
Censoring it because it's not true. If it were not true, they could prove it.
It's not up to them to prove your lie isn't true. It's up to you to prove that your bullshit is not bullshit. It's your bullshit. No, talk about personal responsibility. Holy God. Didn't the Republicans used to be about personal responsibility? Why is it the news's fault you have a shitty argument and don't understand the details of the case you're making? I could go into any court and make a better case for Rudy's argument against the certification of the elections than Rudy could have. Because I've listened to all his bullshit and I'm more articulate than he is.
If what I'm saying about the election is not true, they could take all those Dominion machines. They could bring in independent forensic experts. They could allow their forensic experts and ours examine them, and we'd see who's right.
What do you mean, and who's right? Why would they bring in your forensic experts, whoever the fuck they are, into what, a dark room to mess around with them? Look, while you guys are checking them to see if they work, and, you know, obviously you guys will because you live in reality, you'll come in and go, our machines were fine. Oh, yeah? Well, our machines, as soon as we pushed this button, immediately everything was in Chinese. So, and that only took us a half an hour to upload that.
Who's right? If they are honest machines, then I'll be very foolish. I'll look very.
No, you're gonna get sued, and you're gonna lose.
Very foolish.
You do look very foolish. You look extraordinarily foolish, mustard head.
But if they're not, some of them will go to jail.
This is the same shit he said on the dais when he said trial by combat. I will be shocked almost if he doesn't say let's have trial by combat.
If the tape that I have of the votes being stolen in Fulton County, Georgia.
You don't have a tape of votes being stolen in Fulton County, Georgia. The governor, lieutenant governor, and the election commission have all looked at it. They knew exactly what was going on. There was no crime. You're full of shit. You can't keep calling something that. Yeah, we saw that the NRA has filed for bankruptcy. Good times.
It's not true. I'll be very foolish. But if it is investigated and it is true, and your eyes don't.
If it is, if I'm asserting the if. You know what? Anybody who's watching my show right now, I'm pretty sure your PIN number is your birthday and your mom and dad's birthday and the last two letters of your dog's name. I'm pretty sure of that. And if you have nothing to hide, you'll give me your PIN number so that my independent people can check your PIN number, and you can check my assertions about your PIN number. And then whatever password we'll start there, and then we'll go through your email password, and we'll go through the entry and exit codes to your home, because I've asserted that there, you just made a pattern. You didn't actually use a numeric code, and if you have nothing to hide, you'll obviously post that number on the internet so that people know the truth. Because why are you afraid of the truth? I mean, it's not like we're concerned that this asshole has business dealings with Russia through Ukraine. What's the big deal with people he hires being alone with our voting machines, especially the only ones that always have a paper trail ahead of the 2022 election? I mean, what's wrong with that?
Your eyes don't deceive you. then some people will go to jail.
Why don't you go to jail then? How come you can say this, you can make this shit up, turn out to be wrong, there's no downside for you, you're just asserting something, I'll look very foolish on the internet, but other people will have to go to jail if I turn out to be right. Why don't you go to jail for asserting this shit? Why don't you go broke being sued by Dominion and other companies for making this shit up?
So the reason we have this dictatorial, fascist, Nazi, communist-like censorship is because they're afraid of the truth.
Oh, I guess we can't handle the truth.
Because the truth strips them of the dictatorial power they have. Political, money.
Well then, you know what? Money. Ew, money. Ew. Not money, Rudy.
Strips
what?
them of the dictatorial power they have.
Yeah.
Political, money,
Greed. Money, greed. Greedy money people are gross. Especially like greedy, like land developers and real estate developers who live in like really gaudy, gold-leafed condos with all this French kind of aristocratic furniture. And yeah, you tell them, Rudy.
And sickness.
And sickness. Oh, okay. So you're admitting now that Trump has syphilis. Well, that's progress.
Please pay attention to this. An awful lot of people are being hurt, but most importantly, the 85 million people that have a right to know what the president is saying.
Yeah, they're being
have
hurt.
A right to know it.
Yeah,
and
that's
it should
right.
not be
and he shouldn't have to type it out on his goddamn website like any other person.
Restricted, constricted, or blocked in any way.
Never. No one should ever be blocked. If they want to post, swastikas and child porn, Rudy, tell them that should all be fair game. It should. If you just put it, the president himself should be able to drop that stuff anytime he wants because that's what the people want.
By a group of greedy oligarchs.
Greedy oligarchs.
Who seem to give no
Don't start down, Rudy. Don't start down the road of these sentences where you have no out. They seem to want to, what do they want to do? What are they? They're kind of like these, they're the kind of people that you'd see putting a thing inside a thing.
Oligarchs who seem to give no quarter at all.
No.
And have no interest in the right
they're not going to quarter soldiers and
of free speech. One of our most basic American rights. And as Abraham Lincoln would say.
Oh God. Please, I'm living for this quote. I don't know what it is, but let's hear it. As Abraham Lincoln would say, bring it home, Rudy. Please tell me they have it written on a card taped to the underside of the camera. Please tell me that's what you're looking at right now.
One of our most basic American rights. And as Abraham Lincoln would say, if you don't understand the values of an American, you're not an American. Thank you.
Is that what? Sorry. Was that a Lincoln? Was that a Lincoln quote? If 7 years ago, I told a bunch of fuckers on a field, if you don't understand the values of an American, you're not an American. Mr. President, do you at this moment happen to smell burnt toast or almonds? We're concerned down here for your health. You seem to be jabbering on. No, I'm sorry about that. I sometimes accidentally channel a lawyer from the future who represents the president. It's a recurring nightmare I have. His name is Judy Ruley something, and it just pops into my head.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, no. Thank you. By the way, what censored video? This one. Let's see. Where we go? There you go. There we go. This is it. This is the one that was censored. Hold on.
Hello, this is Rudy Giuliani with Rudy's Common Sense.
Oh, boy. This was censored. That's why you can only get it on Rumble. Because it's censorship. No one can see. This is an Iron Curtain. This is I go to ironcurtainvpn.org.gov, and it gives me a special cyber key, code 1984, that allows me to see all the stuff that's been censored on the internet in 3 simple clicks.
This episode is going to concern itself with what really happened on January 6, 2021.
By the way, we've already seen that one. The one we didn't see, by the way, the other one that he says.
Hello, this is Rudy Giuliani with Rudy's Common Sense. This episode is going to concern itself with what really happened on January 6, 2021.
Oh, I see. 1, 2, 3. It's the same one. This one's Diamond and Silk put it up. Rudy's Common Sense put it up. Diamond and Silk have their own Rumble. Is he on with them?
Hello. Welcome back to Rudy's Common Sense.
Oh, man. This is
Of course, I'm Rudy Giuliani.
Because no one else will be.
The narrative has already begun to set in our new world, the world of censorship, the world of the Iron Curtain of censorship, where...
Yes, he loves that analogy. It's farcical and funny. But thank you for subscribing. Oh, Sonia, thank you so much for gifting the subs. That's awesome.
The repetition of the same narrative is almost word for word identical on ABC, CBS, NBC, some days now even Fox.
Right, we've been through this bullshit before. By the way, the reason the phrasing about it is because we all saw the same video, and people aren't that different, no matter how much Rudy would like them to be. Thanks for the follow. I am never going to get into this business of the what was this? Who is this? Oh, that's the ASL sign and terror. Okay, that's nice that they're at least ASLing that poor woman. No.
So that we can announce them. So come on in, everybody. Come on in. And I love you all. I miss you all so very, very much. We're still out here in the fight. But let me tell you why I'm here.
Why?
I know you all.
Because if you weren't here, it would just be Silk.
Been wondering where the heck is Diamond and Silk. Right. As you know,
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
The social media platforms are censoring our voices. It is true, you all.
Yes.
From Facebook to YouTube to Twitter, it is the truth. So I want to make sure that you all go.
It's your voice that's being censored, or the fraudulent details you're trying to sell that are getting people killed, and therefore these platforms are concerned about their culpability in carrying a message for you, when you seem to be so slapdash with the details that you don't care if someone gets killed.
Go to Chattit. ChatTit.com to follow us.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Chattit.
Absolutely. Chavez, right. Go to Chavez, CHAVIZ.
If you want to see what Diamond and Silk is doing.
That's right.
Okay? That's just what you're going to have to do.
You got to go.
Chat it.
During these times, you all, they're trying to convince us, make us to believe their narrative. And when you don't go along with their narrative, now what they want to do is stifle your reach, silence you, fix it where people can't find you. We've been...
Yeah, it's terrible. And you have to go to Shat City, Shark Town.
Hearing the complaints, we not
Shark Week.
Crazy. So that's why we want you to follow us on Chattit. See?
Is that what you want? Okay, so basically it's another social media platform that doesn't have any standards. So you can go on there and say whatever you want about anyone of any race or creed, and no one's ever going to mess with you on there at all. And if you call for the death of someone, it's got DMs and small chat rooms you can set up so that if you go, hey, I'd like to murder that public official too. Funny you should bring that up. Why don't we meet in one of these side rooms, or you can DM me what the plan is.
CHATDIT.
Yeah, we know that. Chavez, right? You want to be on,
Also,
yes, Venezuela.
Don't forget about our podcast that's due out on
How
Friday.
Could I?
Diamond
It is due out on Friday. Will it be on time?
Silk, the podcast.
The podcast.
You can
The podcast.
find it on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, and
all the big censoring platforms.
even Rumble or anywhere you get your podcast.
Yes.
And don't forget about our show that comes on Newsmax, Diamond and Silk Crystal Clear, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday. So make sure you tune in this weekend because we have a great,
I'm totally
great
there.
show and a great podcast
It's a great
for you all this week.
I want you to make sure you stop what you're doing right now and follow us on Chattit. CHAT.
She just said that.
DIT.com.
Yes.
It's imperative that you follow us there. Why? Because it's our own social media platform, and we are not going to be censored there. And we're not.
Silk. Diamond she just did the hearts. Like, is this the whole, this whole video is just about hammering this home. I'm going to black out. If you guys tell me this, I'm going to pass it. Okay, by the way. So I wanted to tell you something. After we did the Rudy thing, so if you'll recall, there was this guy, 107, who was on when I did a piece of Roseanne's show. And we only saw his feet, remember? His like cowboy boots, and he's in a Trump hotel room, and he won't say who he is, and he goes under this 107 thing. This video is from yesterday, day before the storm, meaning today is the storm. Biden should fall below 270 tomorrow from decertified states. This is yesterday they're posting this shit. 10-day audit likely to be mandated. Trump will still make 20 January. Martial law insurrection act virtually certain in 6 to 12 states. Kind of a broad number. Bottom line, senior military leaders are no longer deferring to corrupt civilian, quotes, justice system. And then it says, killer closer, Trump, and then he's in a pyramid in front of an American flag. Like, this is the contested election. This is where they think they have a legal thing. Like this, these guys, and by the way, yes, the My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell, Mike Pillow, see how nutty this is? This is straight up Q nonsense. This is this guy, Robert David Steele. He's been on, he does this a bunch. He's got a bunch of people that come on. They do daily, look at this. He's got an email, daily alerts. You can sign up for this stuff. They've got almost 400,000 views. I think it's nice of this guy to have exactly the same number of views as the current dead from COVID. That's not code or anything. About 3,500 comments. He doesn't list how many subscribers he has. That's because they keep probably bumping around. Yeah.
All right, we're recording. 107, a pseudonym.
A pseudonym, because that's how you trust people. If they're afraid, you know who hides information? Criminals. I heard Rudy Giuliani say that.
I can see the distinctive Trump Tower curtains behind you. We agreed that we could reveal your location for this one night only. You and I have
Who gives a shit?
talked about what might happen tomorrow, and I have speculated that compelling.
This was yesterday. This stuff's supposed to be going down right now.
Evidence will be presented. I posted today a document that presented compelling evidence, including Nevada. And
yeah, totally compelling, especially Nevada, now that it's all been certified and
that Congress will vote for the 10-day audit, and the president will be confirmed on the 16th and inaugurated on the 20th.
Basically tomorrow is when Trump will be confirmed the winner.
Your take?
I don't think we actually end up with that specific solution.
Yeah, mainly because it's not a solution.
That would be beautiful if we could get this all.
Yeah, it's true. And if we could all sprout wings,
done in time to complete.
And we could all barbecue our own wings always, and just always every day would be Sunday Night Football. We could peel off our own wings and they grow back.
This by the 20th. I don't see that as being what actually happens here. I think we're actually going to see this need to be drug out longer. However, the precipitating incidents or occurrences that have to happen right now, some type of slow walk, slowing down to get to the right answer. This race to get to the wrong answer is against the best interests of America and the world, because whoever sits in the Oval Office has influence over the whole planet.
We all know that.
Yeah, we all blah blah blah. Biden won, but anyways,
so we're at the end of a multi-year period of planned fraud. The president,
really? You mean the Trump presidency? How dare you, sir?
Appears to have known it was coming. His executive order was utterly brilliant.
Wasn't it? It worked so well that apparently it changed nothing. And he knew it was coming so much that he was completely caught off guard.
My sense is that the president does have 9 aces, the last of which is satanic pedophilia that takes out selected individuals, perhaps including.
That's your 9 aces. Do you have any satanic pedophilia? Go fish. Nine aces. You know what happens if you have 9 aces when you're playing poker? The people that you are cheating kill you.
Including the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
The only person who would have 9 aces is a criminal.
Lynn Wood is a defamation attorney. He doesn't defame people. He used.
I see. I see. Harvey Weinstein puts out movies that have really strong female characters. He doesn't sexually assault women. He's got lots of movies out that were very good for women. A lot of female leads. What they had to do to get those leads, that's another story. But
he uses the truth. So what's your bottom line on what's going to happen tomorrow? What's your prediction?
Yeah. Predict it from a Trump hotel room where you're clearly drinking the complimentary water with your evidence, your hat, and your. Is that that looks like Glenn Beck's vest? Did they just trade outfits?
We'll hold you accountable on Saturday.
Yeah, yes, hold him accountable. Predict for us, phony person in hotel room talking out of your ass.
It's got more bends and turns and twists than an anaconda snake.
Just the magic of analogy. I mean, how am I ever going to keep up with these people? I clearly need to sign myself up for a Book of the Month club just to fill my head with analogy and allegory so that I can twist and turns like an
look, there's about 5 variations that can happen.
Yeah, and any one of them is, the biggest bullshit version. Tell me, this guy's like, yeah, 5 possibilities. I love this. I could do 5 more videos where I sucker these people into believing my bullshit and make sure they sign up on my email list so that they get my free Amazon wish list choice picks, so that anything they buy on Amazon for the next 24 hours would go through the
without letting
yes, he said anaconda. You did.
Cats out of the bag. I believe I know what one is going to happen, but I don't want to.
Okay, so just give us the
yeah. Oh my God! Listen to this. Listen, just the tap dancing bullshit.
The bag. I believe I know what one is going to happen, but I don't want to.
Okay, so just give us the 5 without specifying.
Yeah, just give us the 5. Any one of these could happen, but none of them will. But please tell us that. Good God, this is like, how do you not? How do you do this show and not be frigging embarrassed? You know what I mean? Like, how do you, I mean, I get, like, UFO people, I have a lot of sympathy for, because there's a mix of people who've seen and believe in UFOs, and there's certain levels of people's interaction with them that they think it's on a spiritual realm to a physical realm, and there's all kinds of craziness when you're talking about it. And just trying to get the details out from the Air Force to the public sometimes was a big kind of like, I've only heard this little piece, and this might be fake, and this might be real, and da-da. Like, I have sympathy for those folks, because ultimately, they still, when they go to the grocery, recognize they could catch a cold and are wearing masks when they go out. Like, UFO people are masking up because they know Earth pathogens kill. They've all seen War of the Worlds. But imagine being so suckered by that guy, the Charlie's Angels cowboy asshole of Trump Hotel.
Justifying your choice.
Well, they're too deep to really get into precisely, because there's overlap.
Okay, so Joe Biden shows up and concedes.
I don't believe.
Yeah, that happens.
If that's going to happen, that would be nice if it would, but no, that's one of the 5. Yes.
Okay, Joe Biden.
Yeah, always add. That's always one of the 5.
Biden dies in his sleep.
Yes, I have seen a UFO, so there you go. But I mean, it's an unidentified flying object, so anything you can't identify is technically a UFO in that regard until you do identify it, or until it's identified by somebody else and they tell you. So, that's easy. Anyway.
I wouldn't consider that one of the 5, but...
all right, so give me the 5, one-liners. I mean, people love you, Juan. You are my absolutely most popular guest.
Yeah, people love you. You're their favorite because you use a fake name. You never show your face. You show your boot and your hat, which gives this illusion that you're some sort of like truth cowboy, and yet you're in this really posh bullshit new money hotel. People love that.
Guest.
Well, the issue is whether or not Congress decertifies some of these votes, whether we ask to go back and have a revote in those states, whether, we're not going to allow states not to have a piece of the action here in the eventual final vote.
So a contingent election in states that are decertified is on the table.
That's
a very reasonable proposition.
It's totally reasonable now that the election's been certified and no one in their right mind argues the outcome, and you live in a fart air fantasy with your weird friend. But yeah, that's totally reasonable. And if that's the most reasonable one, that's the one we can settle in on. Come on.
Yes, and any of these involve slowing things down. In the course of slowing things down for any reason, other investigations continue on. One of the problems with, for example, we're going to do a RICO in Nevada. Pat Byrne and I have both thrown money at the attorneys on that, and we were going to file right away and decided to hold for various reasons.
Yeah, you don't want to rush that. You don't want to file a RICO charge or pay attorneys to file a RICO charge till you at least, I don't know, maybe have some evidence or
reasons, and there's sound reasons.
It kind of sounds like Tom Arnold. That would be hilarious. If this turned out to be Tom Arnold punking these assholes, oh my God, that would be beautiful.
Not that we don't have the material, but the timing is an issue.
Yeah, they don't have the material, and the timing is an issue. Timing. Trump has already conceded. Timing's an issue, though. The time, guys, it's not, I'm waiting for just the right moment. Like 2 days after he's moved out. They are in front of the White House with moving boxes.
An issue. But the problem with RICO doesn't change the outcome.
Oh, the guy who spoke at Trump's rally with the cowboy hat and boots, that's not him. This is a different hat. That guy had a weird kind of like, I do my own gardening kind of hat.
On this
you don't win this
election
in the courts.
side.
You don't win this in the courts.
Right.
No, not in the courts. Not, no law and order president is ever going to win in the courts.
But that's a longer term solution to fix the problem longer term with discovery and things like that.
What legal right does the president have to serve on the 21st or 22nd of January if he has not been confirmed by Congress?
None. Zero. Like, what kind of a... I mean, honestly, this guy's saying a lot of dumb shit, but this is kind of magically dumb. Yes, that's Columbo on my shirt. What?
Well, because, again, those executive orders that he did both at the beginning of this administration.
Oh, yeah, they were so good. It was like he was looking into the future. The two executive orders, they were just... Tell us about how good they were.
And again, on the September 12th, 2018, both of those have issues related to fraudulent elections. And in that case, as General Flynn has said...
as General Flynn has said, Q has a good point, right? I don't understand. I don't get it.
A limited state of martial law while we're getting to...
it's kind of like martial law light, half the calories of your regular martial law.
The correct solution is not out of the question. Now, that's not where the president wants to go, and we haven't fully gone through all of the legal mechanisms to give the Justice Department...
Bro, take your time. Trump's got all weekend.
A chance to do what they're supposed to do, but that's what this delay is about, letting the American people see that you can't get to justice through the Justice Department. The Congress is...
That's really the story that Trump is trying to tell. Like, he could totally kick everybody's ass and just take the presidency. He could have done it weeks ago, but he really wants to show the American people that the American judicial system sucks. Think about what this asshole is arguing right now. Good God.
Congress is so captured, so corrupted, they can't come up with a vote when everybody in the world can see that this is a stolen vote.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. That's why you're on my show. I just don't agree with the fact that you hide your face and you may be full of shit and you wear a pinky ring, which is, according to the QAnon people, a sign that you're a pedophile. Rudy Giuliani also wears one, but we know he can't stand up in cowboy boots. So, who are you?
You completely. And I have myself made the case.
Juan, I don't know who these people are. Honest to God.
It's not only for martial law and the Insurrection Act, but I believe the old guard needs to be developing a regimental order on becoming a firing squad.
Oh, there you go. I'm sorry. You think it's time to have a firing squad because your guy lost the election. Wow.
And I'm serious. I posted on that. They've got all the pieces. I mean, they've got the guys with bayonets. They've got the fife and drum corps. They have the presidential battery. They have the engineers and medical and so forth. And if you want to execute 6 governors on the White House lawn,
Whoa! Whoa! I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't realize this was an Antifa video. Christ almighty. If you want... What? How come he's no longer showing his boots? What's that building? What's he trying to tell us? What's the code? Seriously. Holy shit. That, I gotta say, that caught me off guard. I mean, I know these guys are lunatics, but I'm gonna have to, while we're watching this, let's see. What do you think? Hateful or abusive or violent and repulsive? I'm gonna go with violent. Choose one. Adults fighting physical attack. Nope. Okay, so where we go? Okay, there we go. Promotes terrorism. I think that works. Bink. Yeah, report. Shall we do a quote? If you want to execute 6 governors on the White House lawn. Well, I sometimes do the heavy. There we go. If you want to execute, good God. That I gotta say, like, good. What the hell?
The old guard is the logical choice. So Juan,
yeah, the old guard.
What are your other options? I can see.
Yeah, what are your other options? I have one, which is lunacy and the murder of 6 governors. Christ. By the way, total all-in Trump supporters. Like, let's not kid ourselves. And this dude posts every single day. This has 400,000 views. And it was just put up yesterday. Yeah. Yes, I will forward this to the FBI.
I can see martial law. I can see a delay, but I think the evidence is compelling enough so that a 10-day audit would force Congress to make the deal on the 16th of January. And that's my preferred option. What are the other?
Who gives a shit what your preferred option is? What I would prefer is that when I jump off the roof, magically, I can just fly without wings. But if wings popped out and I could temporarily fly, I'd prefer if they had feathers. But if they didn't, I guess bat wings would be okay, or maybe a jet. Maybe, like, what kind of toddler nonsense is this?
The other options that you see that would stretch this out toward April.
If the vice president decides not to show up for some reason, and you'd be forced to have a delay because you're not getting to those answers early on. There's a lot of variations even within those options. It's like a chess game. One move causes 5 other moves to be.
Yeah, it's like a chess game. If these two guys were eating the chess pieces,
possible 2 moves causes 20 or 30 potential moves.
Yeah, that's how it works.
But there's maybe 4 or 5 like.
This guy needs to drink more water. He's been bullshitting all day.
Likely moves. As you get out 3 or 4 or 5 moves out, it becomes harder and harder to predict what's going to be the needed best next move or two. So.
Yeah. You mean chess gets more difficult the fewer pieces you have? Especially when you're losing because you're a shit chess player?
You get too many steps out and you're just too far into the speculation. This exact moment is about whether or not votes can be certified or not, whether or not there is a decision not to certify, and it brings the Biden candidacy down under the 270, which I think is the likeliest scenario. Some.
Did they just post this chunk and they filmed this before? Yeah, no shit. I actually think. Yeah, okay, so this says premiered on January 14th, right here, which I think they did a live stream and then they pulled this clip and they posted this clip yesterday. I think this is the day before the 6th. I think this is probably from the 5th. They're talking so much about this weekend. Maybe he's trying to see if it's turning out to be true or whatever. But, so maybe that's why they think it's possible, and that's why that timing, because it seems very odd to do it this late in the game, although they're incredibly ridiculous, so I wouldn't be surprised. But the stunning part is this guy picked this clip, and he's basically calling for the murder of 6 governors on the White House lawn on the 6th, if that's the case.
Some means comes up where we decide that those votes can't be counted, and now the Biden team is under 270.
But that means Pennsylvania and at least one more state.
Probably Georgia.
And that makes complete sense to me. In fact, this document that I shared with you, which is at
totally, yeah,
tinyurl.com/election-indictment, shows that Georgia had 1,500,000 questionable ballots. So I love that.
Questionable, black people, other black people. I mean, should they even? My question is, should they even be allowed to vote? Therefore, cogito ergo sum, questionable ballot.
That. So what I hear you saying is that tomorrow there could be a successful decertification of 2 states, and then maybe something that goes on in terms of the audit. Do you think Senator Cruz has a real possibility of getting an emergency audit?
No. And that's what this was. This was from the 5th. Holy smokes. I'm not playing any more of this. I'm going to just report the video to the FBI because this dude's in DC. This guy's coordinating with people who were there, and he's calling for people to be killed. This is lunacy. That in and of itself is frigging next level crazy. So hold on one second. Let me jump over to one other thing. Again, crazy people, crazy kooky, crazy. Man. So I got to jump over to here. 1 second. I'm going to pull up a file. It's Friday, so it's always good to have some good news on a Friday. You know what I mean? Just to send you into the weekend with some joy in your heart. This'll do it, I think, for most people. Now, granted, people do, Chapter 11 to restructure their debt and that kind of stuff. And I mean, the NRA has a lot of things. They've got to pay off all of Wayne LaPierre's first-class flights and his extra cheese plate on top of the dinner that they paid for him that night, and all of his suits, and his fresh set of clubs every time he goes to a Trump golf course. There's a lot of that stuff, right? They've got to be able to do all that. Yeah. So National Rifle Association says it is filed for bankruptcy and will seek to incorporate in Texas instead of New York. They're just kind of getting out of their taxes. Is that what they're going to try and do? Why would they retreat to Texas? How very strange. Were they going to recede from the? Are they going to recede from the Union? We're going to recede into Texas and then secede from the country. Considering we're currently a Russian publicist as opposed to a gun advocacy organization. But I mean that in of itself. However it shakes down, that's just kind of beautiful. It's kind of lovely. Let's see. I don't know what that person's talking about, so bye. So we're all going to be dealing with this stuff over the next little bit. I see them getting an influx of weird money from somewhere, and sort of protecting them along the way, and reinventing themselves. The brand is too strong. It's kind of like the GOP. The GOP would have disappeared a long time ago, but GOP and Grand Old Party and all that, and the fact that they're the Republican Party and they've been around, protects them from collapse more so than the actual function of the and the structure of the organization would. So yeah, there you go. Everybody's punning about martial law. And of course I tweeted this out earlier, but I thought it deserved attention. Oh my God, Be Best was actually a success because the legacy of Be Best is that her husband, that Melania's husband, was banned from social media. Be Best ended with all of us losing our accounts. Nice boy in the Punisher t-shirt. Oh, that's cute. That's all right, sure. I'm going to take them up into the Washington Monument. I love you so much. I mean, and here's the thing. I don't, she's a birther, so that's her own problem. But anyways, I just thought that was kind of a joy. Oh my gosh, we're getting close to 17,000 subs. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I haven't done a single commercial during the whole show today. I mean, I think Natalie caught me off guard. Thank you again, Natalie. And thank you, Christine FF, and Jack and House, and Sonia, and Ninja Crinkles, and DJ Shy-Fi Shy-Fi, and Magic Hands, and Verena. Thank you for the super chat. That's awesome. And by the way, there's been a ton of anti-gay trolls in the chat on Facebook. So did they shut down another like some sort of like incel chat room on there, and so they all had to scatter? That just seems to be the theme. You know what I mean? I'm curious about that part of it. I know some of the Facebook people have noticed as well as I have. So I try and get those guys out as fast as possible, if indeed they are guys and not just bots that are assigned. Thanks, Amy. I think my hair was a little flat today, quite frankly. I didn't have a chance to wash it. So, but it's solid. Like I said, it's becoming a do. So, and I was doing honeydew list stuff all the way up to the show. That's why I ran in here with food I didn't get to eat. Thank you guys. We're getting a bunch of this. I've got to, I'm going to do this. I'm going to share this via Twitter. Let's see. What should we call it? Like, there you go. Commentary. Attention. FBI. Washington Field Office. At DC Police. At DHS. I think that should handle it. Let's see. Christ, that stuff is, like, those guys are gross. That's like next level. And that was the day before. Yeah, that video was from the day before the 6th. They posted it on the 5th. They live streamed on the 5th about what would happen the next day. And then for whatever reason, they thought it was smart to take that piece where this asshole calls for the murder of 6 governors on the White House lawn by firing squad. That those people, Democrat, at least it's, bipartisan, Democrat and Republican, he wants them all assassinated. That in and of itself, Christ. By the way, regular radio show tomorrow, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time on WCPT radio. And of course, I'll be streaming here live. And then Monday morning, I'm going to be on Steph's show promoting Sexy Liberal, which is a week from tomorrow. We're going to have one of our first ever live segments, because we have to pre-tape stuff most of the time, but I'm going to be shooting sketches all weekend long and posting them, and then there'll be a live comedy section, because God knows there'll be plenty of news all next week. But yeah, there's a bunch of that fun stuff to be had. But tomorrow I'm going to be got the radio show. Then a week from tomorrow is Sexy Liberal. Tickets are on sale now, and I will be promoting it on Steph's show Monday morning. So I'll be hopping on whatever the news is the day before. So good times. Yeah, this is like I'm curious on so many fronts how in the hell these guys think they could get away with the whole somebody's like, Hal, sending it to their Twitter does not work. Use this. I'm like, okay, all right. I will. Let me. And now I've got to grab this and double up. Where's the video now? This is the one. Okay, so let me copy that. Excellent. There we go. We'll go to tips FBI. Oh, this is good. We can all look at how this happens. Let's go. Hi. I'm not. I can't post that right now. There you go. There you go. There you go. I'm not a robot. Submit. Oh. Information just got, okay. Well, I've got, I got to download it and upload it. What are you kidding? All right, we'll figure that out later. Somebody will pass it along to somebody. I just posted that, so hopefully it will get to it. The Mike Pillow stuff is just going to grow. I can't wait to have somebody have him on and explain what was in his notes. I'm so excited to see what that finally turns out to be. It's all right. We're almost done for the day, actually, because I've got radio tomorrow, so we'll have a whole kind of wrap of all this for the record. I guess this is another piece of Friday good news. Daily Beast is reporting that a majority of Josh Hawley's constituents in Missouri believe he should resign after he led the effort to object to the 2020 election result after the insurrection of the U.S. Capitol, according to a no poll from Data for Progress. He's done. Bye, Josh Hawley. And I still think Josh Hawley book titles needs to be a hashtag game. I mean, that's just me. So, okay, I saved that piece. I forwarded it. I feel okay about that element of it. And tomorrow, Johnny Million will be on, and of course, some of the guys from Midas Touch are going to be joining me for the regular radio show. I'm obviously I watch far too much Fox News because of this stuff. Oh no.
So let's talk about the future.
Oh my God. This is new? Wait, this is only 3 minutes. This will finish us out for the night. Newsmax interviewing Rudy Giuliani. Ma'am, put down your paper and leave the room immediately. If he thinks you're anywhere under the age of 18, you are in immediate danger.
Talk about the future, because the president, according to more than one recent poll this week, is still the person that most Republicans would like to see on the ballot in 2024.
Is Rudy still eating?
Will he run again?
Well, that's exactly what the impeachment's about.
Yes, because he can't be trusted.
Impeachment is not about. They didn't even charge. The crime of incitement to riot is so far beyond what he did with the norm.
No, they literally give his entire speech as evidence.
Enormous protections for free speech that it's almost idiotic to talk about it. I mean,
no, it isn't. You're an actual political leader. It is different. You're in trouble because you're his attorney. You said trial by combat. You are the audience can assume that you and the president are aligned together, and statements from you, the president's son, the president himself, the other lawyer you brought, any of you that said we should go down there and stop the steal, and you got to use strength to, and we've got to fight, and you got to get in there and stop the steal, get in there, and that he was going to go with you, and then he didn't. All that stuff, because you're in a position of power, is easier to prove as an incitement. But of course, you're a shit lawyer. What will you know?
I mean, every law professor that's in the middle of the road will tell you it was a perfectly.
First of all, never take advice from a law professor who's so stupid they don't know not to stand in the road.
Perfectly legal speech, as were all the rest.
A perfectly legal speech. Jim Jones is perfectly legal to say the words, "It's time to drink the Kool-Aid." You can't, you know what I mean?
Incitement to riot virtually means, taking them into the riot. Come with me. Not.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You can say sick 'em. That works too.
Not language. Not even angry language. So this was
Yeah, literally, if you order people murdered by, like your Kurtz in Apocalypse Now.
You're an errand boy. I swallowed a bug. Kill him.
Setup.
Well, McConnell says he doesn't know how.
Why did you cut? Really, you cut this down? What did he say?
He's going to vote, which means McConnell might be leaning towards actually convicting the president. Does he want to do that? Does McConnell want to end a possibility of the president running again in 2024?
Yes, he does.
I can't speak for Senator McConnell. I'm very disappointed in him. Very disappointed in the things that he did.
I object largely to whatever happened to your face.
The things that he said, he knows better. He's a smart enough man, to know that this
Thanks,
terrible
Tamara.
thing that happened to the Capitol wasn't caused by the president. And this is a terrible thing to do to a man who served his country the way President Trump has.
Would the president?
You mean like an absentee landlord?
Yeah, want to run again in 2024?
You don't know the president. I mean, I can't say for sure.
I can. I can, guys. You know how I've been right about everything, and I know I'm no whatever Dax Slavin or whatever that guy's name was. I don't care. You know, I'm no cowboy boots, camera facing the other way, Q-seer. But I'll tell you this. Ready? Trump isn't running in 2024. He's not running. He's not going to run. It's not happening. For a bunch of reasons. One is he won't be welcome and it's a whole other mess. But he doesn't want to do the job. And I think the biggest reason besides, you know, criminal issues that he might have to deal with between now and then is that he's on a mental downward spiral because of this loss into a level of psychosis that I think surprises people around him. The man has been in the Oval Office alone yelling, "I will not resign," to no one. He never really had it together. All these like Biden's got dementia things was again more Trump projection. I think Trump is spiraling. That's what I really think.
4 years is a long time, but
thanks,
well,
Ann.
they sure as heck think he wants to run. That's why they're doing this to him. And it's
No, they think any politician who engaged in the kind of activity that he did and the kind of incitement that he did that led especially to the death of a Capitol Hill police officer shouldn't be trusted with the reins of power, should be able to hold any federal office ever again. That's kind of the purpose.
and it's maybe the only way they can beat him, because next time he'll be forewarned and forearmed about just exactly what they're trying to get away with. And I predict over the next year.
So he wasn't really able to stop the giant, blatant, obvious, poorly planned and weakly executed, massive conspiratorial voter fraud while he was president. But 4 years from now, when he hasn't had any insider information in the government, he'll be in a better position to lose again because 8 local volunteers can destroy his entire empire. He's going to be selling his property starting this fall.
Here, a lot more information will come out about this. He spent his whole career acting unethically and misusing his.
But enough about Trump. Why are you cutting in at that point? What did she say that this is the edit?
About this. He spent his whole career acting unethically and misusing his son as a bagman to collect millions and millions from a crooked Ukrainian oligarch who was paying off Joe. He wasn't paying off the big guy. Who's going to?
What are you nodding at, lady? What are you nodding at? I mean, I want to know who's got the heart lock. That's what I want to know. We all want to know. Tell us a story. If Rudy has the heart lock, I'm going to black out right here on my own stream.
Who's going to pay Hunter Biden? I feel sorry for Hunter Biden. The guy's been an addict.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that why you called him a degenerate and supposedly turned him into the cops and said he's an addict and a lowlife? A lowlife was what you called him repeatedly until you decided the focus groups didn't like it. Thank you guys. Level 5 hype train on my way out the door. You guys. Norman, thank you so much. Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, you guys can gift tiers, like tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3 subs to people if you want. On Twitch, it's one of the ways you can help out the station and help other people who want to participate. All this stuff. It's really cool. So thank you for doing that.
He's been an addict all his life, and his father has made it worse by putting him in that horrible business he had him in.
So does President Trump?
His dad put him in that business.
Appoint a special counsel before he leaves office.
You know, it's like he forced Bo to go to Iraq, and then he forced him to be an attorney general. And then
office.
That's up to President Trump. I mean, you know.
By the way, let's not pretend for a second that when Rudy shits all over Hunter, that Trump, or that Biden is in control of Hunter's life and it puppets him, and that he's the master of the Biden crime family, that he's also not insinuating that Beau, who died of brain cancer, is, was a criminal while he was alive and engaged in all this awfulness as well. What, is he the James Caan in this story? Is that what Rudy's going to tell you?
The reality is he could appoint a special counsel, and Biden could remove that special counsel in a minute.
So it doesn't really make a difference if he does.
No, and I think the press, if Biden did it, it'd be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yay, we got the level 5 hype train. Oh my God, Kathy, thank you so much.
Because the press is so biased.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest.
No, I didn't. And by the way, Newsmax is not America's fastest growing anything. I'll have you know for the record, thanks to the level 5 hype train, that this show is the fastest growing. Basically on percentage, because, when you got 100,000 viewers and you gain 100, it's very small. But when you got, 16,000 and you gain 1,000, it's kind of a big deal. Just saying. So thank you guys for the gifted subs. It's really awesome. Thanks, Norman. This is the fastest growing show. Yes, fear me. She seems happy, though, and that's the important thing. I can't tell from the Newsmax logo being in the way if she has the heart lock. We have to find out. By the way, but we are, while all the other networks are complaining of their numbers dropping, mine continue to grow, and that's because of you guys. So we'll sign off with that love. 188% level 5 hype train. They're going to need a level 6 sometime soon or something. This is crazy. This is amazing. Yes, I'm the fastest growing show. It's true. This is just, kind of one of the most extraordinary, kind of oddly magical things to happen out of this ridiculousness we've all been through, is that we at least have some place where you guys can come hang out, breathe a little deeper as I guide you through this madness, remind you that it's all going to work out over time, and even the rough spots we can get through, and we can, and better yet, not just get through, we can contribute to making those rough spots smoother. And I think that's really the value of all of that. And then it's a place that I am immensely grateful that I'm able to come here in front of you guys and do this show and break this stuff down in a way that makes you feel good, but also just kind of lightens the load a little bit, makes you feel a little bit better, sends you off into your day, so that I hope, honest to God, my main hope for this is that there's a ripple effect from that part of it, that you feel a little better, so your day is lighter, so you're paying it forward with your mood and your experience going forward. As you go out into the world, what limited amount you do, or when you reach out to a friend or loved one you haven't talked to in a little while and connect with them, those kind of things like that. That in and of itself is what I, first goal was, let's all have a place where we can look at this and not lose our friggin' minds and maintain our sense of humor. And then as that expanded and that definitely built into something useful. Thank you for your ripple. Thanks, Andrew. As that expanded, that it genuinely started to improve how people felt about things. That I just have to know in my heart that as you guys go out and laugh at Rudy Giuliani not getting paid and those kind of things with this deep and hearty and open laugh and relax into the ridiculousness that's going on. While that happens, I know that helps the people around you, their mood, their sense of safety, security, and health, and all that during it. So that's the goal. And I'm glad it's actually paying out that way to you guys. You know what I mean? I'm worried these nut jobs coming after you think, no. They're not, don't worry about me. They're not coming after me. They don't care. It's all noise. They've got bigger fish to fry, and they're gonna get fried trying to fry them. And they're gonna try to build. They're gonna set them themselves on fire trying to start the grill. Don't worry. And everybody who's been watching in the UK and in Australia and in Ireland, Scotland, and the Netherlands, and Norway and Sweden, who've just reached out and talked to me via the chat and other sources. I gotta tell you, I'm glad this little puddle of love, that we have here is reaching that far out too. And you don't think that we're all like the worst of that crowd that stormed the Capitol, because we frankly aren't. We just aren't. And I'm glad you guys at least have some place you can go and see that. So anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. Radio in the morning. If something happens, I might jump on in the afternoon, but more than likely not. And then, of course, like I said, Monday, I'm going to be on Steph's show in the morning, and then the regular stream at 3 o'clock. And I adore you. Keep the faith. Take care of yourselves. Smile through all this stuff. And on a parting note, trolls, please try harder. You have to figure out something that doesn't immediately get you booted because it's just hate speech, and yet isn't just a rubber stamp Trump 2024 thing. Somewhere in between there is you being a person actually presenting an idea. I know it exists. Find it, and I will meet you on the hustings of the internet. But until that time, thanks for filling out our numbers and making our show grow, because literally I see the little share thing next to your name on Facebook, especially because you report me to the camp of nutcases and then they all jump in. It's adorable. And thanks for boosting our numbers. It's really impressive. All right, take care, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Fastest growing cable news channel now in more than 70 million homes.